Yes. Hello, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Dr. Ravimaran. Dr. Kevin, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam. Hello. Sir, meeting la na irukken sir. Hello. நான் பாக்குறேன் உள்ள மீட்டிங்ல இருக்கேன் சார். மீட்டிங் முடிச்சுட்டு வரேன் சார். நம்ம ஐஇ மீட்டிங்ல தான் இருக்கேன். சரி சார், சரி சார்.
Sir, no voice is coming here.
Sir, we will wait for another 2 minutes. We will start. Sir.
Okay, okay, okay.
Ma'am, good evening, Kalpanadevi, ma'am. Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Kalpanadevi.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Ma'am, this is Kevin, Secretary, Honorary Secretary of IEITLC.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
We will start in another 2 minutes. Ma'am. Good evening to all. We welcome to this today's lecture program. And, today we have a speaker, G. Kalpanadevi from MAM College. So as a, I would like to welcome our committee members, our members from various associations. I welcome our past chairman, Engineer S. Samidas sir. I welcome our principal, MAM College, Dr. S. Ravimaran sir. I welcome everyone to this lecture program. And this program is conducted in association with the Computer Society of India, Trichy chapter. So now let us move on to the next agenda. Introduction of our today's speaker, Professor Dr. G. Kalpanadevi. I call upon Dr. S. Ravimaran, Principal MAM College, to introduce our today's speaker, please.
Thank you, sir. Sir, my voice is audible?
Yes, sir, your voice is audible.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, respected office bearers of both IE Tiruchirappalli Local Center and CSA Tiruchirappalli Chapter, the guest of the today's session, Dr. G. Kalpanadevi. Very good evening to all of you. And I think today is a very special day for all of us because on this auspicious International Women Day, we have invited Dr. Kalpanadevi to our IE forum. I think it's a special day for all of us. So on Women's Day, we have invited a woman, Dr. G. Kalpanadevi, to give a lecture on significance of millimeter wave. And as a principal of Dr. Kalpanadevi, I'm really happy to introduce Dr. Kalpanadevi to this forum. So Dr. Kalpanadevi area of interest are RF and microwave engineering, antenna and wave propagation, transmission lines and wavegates, digital signal processing. So these are the area of interest of Dr. G. Kalpanadevi. He was initially as a professor in MAM College of Engineering from August 2004 to till date in various positions. He was worked as a lecturer and assistant professor, associate professors. Now he is a professor in the Department of Information Technology of our college. And so he has published various papers in various conferences and international journals. journal publication, around 8 publication, and she got 2 important award, certificate of appreciation in recognition of tireless pursuit of excellence and outstanding commitment to pre-Republic Day parade camp held at our college during the year 2010, and she also got her best paper award for the paper titled Design of Multiband Wilkinson Power Divider for Mobile Application in International Conference on Emerging Trends in Electronics and Communication System at Anna University of Technology, Big Campus, Trichy in the year 2016. And she has attended many conferences, seminar and workshop in the last 15 years. And special lectures given by Dr. Kalpanadevi was guest lectures given during the year 2014-15, and also the various special lectures on antenna propagation given by Dr. Kalpanadevi to various college students during the last 2014 to 2021. And she also hold a different responsibility as academician, a coordinator of timetable committee, department level in charge for digital lab, and course coordinator for communication theory, and course coordinator for antenna and wave propagation, course coordinator for digital signal processing, satellite communication, and also coordinator for different classes of electronics and communication engineering department of our college. And totally she has around 15 years of experience in the field of antenna, and she is also an active member of institutional engineer. Other relevant credential of madam has conducted 4 symposium during the year 2009, 10, 15, and 16, and also conducted 4 mini project exhibition in the past years, has guided 25 BE projects and 5 ME projects, and she has conducted 2 intercollegiate mini project exhibition Gladiator successfully during the year 2015 and 16, and also conducted 2 international conference on electrical and information communication technology. And with respect to qualification, she has completed PhD in Anna University, Chennai in the year 2020, and her research title is Design and Development of Miniaturized Power Divider for Mobile and Wireless Network, and she did her Master of Engineering in the specialization of communication system in the year 2012 from Anna University, Chennai, and also she has completed Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and Communication Engineering in the year 2003 from Bharatdas University with first class distinction. So there are a lot of credentials added to madam as head of the department, NAC criteria coordinator, IAC, and she is the overall in charge of our college institute interactive cell of MOE, Ministry of Education, for the last 3 years, and also is active postal coordinator. So with this small introduction, I hand over the session to Dr. Kalpanadevi madam, and also on behalf of IE and CSE Tiruchirappalli chapter, I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Kalpanadevi madam to this IE forum to give a lecture on this very specific topic. Thank you, madam, and welcome, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful introduction, sir. Thank you, sir. I am blessed to have an introduction from you, sir.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Shall we start, sir?
Over to Dr. Kalpanadevi madam. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Can share my screen. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Kalpanadevi. I'm happy to have a lecture on significance of millimeter wave in this forum on today's evening. And as our principal sir told, on today Women's Day, I feeling blessed on this Women's Day. So I'm giving my lecture to the forum, IE forum. Thank you for the opportunities given to me. Before starting my sessions, I would like to thank my management and our college secretary sir and principal sir for giving this opportunity. And I would like to thank the chairman of IE chapter and the CSI Tiruchirappalli chapter for giving an opportunity. So with this small introduction, I can start my session. So today I'm going to explain about significance of millimeter wave. Millimeter wave is a kind of microwave, and this is not a microwave, but it can be called as the microwave. So first I would like to explain about what is millimeter wave, then difference between millimeter wave, microwave, and what are the wave spectrum frequencies, and so which is why this is known as millimeter wave, and advantages, disadvantages, applications, and millimeter wave in 5G and 5G new radio, challenges and topics. So this is my agenda and this today's session. And the first thing, I would like to explain about the difference between microwave and millimeter wave. Usually all the signals can be traveled through the microwave communication. So microwave is a band of frequencies which can cover more frequencies. Nowadays all the communications are through only this electromagnetic waves. So now normally the frequency can be divided into two sessions. One is audio frequency and another one is radio frequencies. So low frequency signals are known as audio frequencies, and high frequency signals are known as the radio frequencies. So in radio frequencies, one of the classification will be known as the microwave, and beyond the microwave is one of the frequency, and most satellite communication signals are used in this microwave. And so more than this microwave frequency, the millimeter wave can be used. So millimeter wave is also an electromagnetic waves which lies in the frequency range of 30 to 300 gigahertz. So this is the frequency range of millimeter wave signals. So like a microwave is a band of frequencies which can be covered from 3 to 30 gigahertz. So where this microwave is also electromagnetic signals which can be covered with 3 to 30 gigahertz range, where millimeter wave is also an electromagnetic wave which covers with the frequency range of 30 to 300 gigahertz. And why this is called as the millimeter wave means, so with respect to the frequency, and we know that there is a relation between frequency and wavelength. So lambda, which is equal to C by F. So where if the frequency is increased means, so as the lambda and lambda is a wavelength and frequency F, both are inversely proportional. So whenever the frequency is increased, automatically there is a decrease in the wavelength. So when the wavelength is discrete, a wavelength is defined by the distance traveled by the wave is known as the wavelength. So the wavelength is reduced means the traveling distance of the wave will be reduced, so that the signals can be traveled only to the short range of communication. So that is the difference between microwave and the milliwave, and the remaining characteristics, everything which will be the same, where the distance traveled by the signals is differed for microwave and millimeter wave. Where microwave, which covers the frequency ranges of 300 megahertz to, that means so nearly 3 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz of signals, and wavelength can be referred in terms of centimeter. So centimeter signals, where millimeter wave is also electromagnetic waves which can have a frequency range of very high frequencies up to 300 gigahertz, but the wavelength is measured in terms of millimeter. So that's why this wave is known as the millimeter wave. So when the wavelength is measured in terms of millimeter is known as the millimeter wave. And so again, millimeter wave is also very high frequencies and also ultra high frequencies and extremely high frequency range. So these are the difference between microwaves and milliwaves. Then about milliwaves, I told now. So as I told, frequency ranges of the millimeter wave is 30 to 300 gigahertz, and so the wavelength is measured in terms of milliwaves. So that's why this will be known as the millimeter wave frequency band. And so this here it is explained. So where for 30 gigahertz signals is measured with the wavelength of 10 meters, and 300 gigahertz signals is measured in terms of 1 mm. So that means whenever the frequency is increased, so there is a reduced in the wavelength. So here it shows that is 10 mm, and here it shows us this 1 mm. I can go for the frequency spectrum. So this is the frequency spectrum. So so far I told that where this is the 3 to 30 gigahertz region of the signals which will be known as the microwave region, and more than this region which will be known as the millimeter wave region. So microwave, we know microwave is a high frequency in terms of gigahertz, that means 10 to the power of 9 hertz signal. So even this millimeter wave is greater than this microwave signals. So actually, my millimeter wave signals mostly now it can be a replacement of this terahertz signal. So terahertz signals which can be used to carry the optical signals. So optical signals, even which has this high frequency signals into 10 to the power of 12 frequency range, it can be used, and in order to have this high speed, it may be used, and there is a cost effective while implementing this optical signal. So it has a more cost to implement. That problem, it can be overcome by using the millimeter wave spectrums. So this is the frequency range which has been given. So because one portion of this millimeter wave, it comes under this terahertz frequency range, so it can be reduced. And so mostly on the millimeter wave, it's a technology, it is a fastly, it is growing, and it can be used for a 5G spectrum. So why this can be used? Nowadays, all the communication, slowly we were in 3G, and slowly we were moved into this 4G, and after that now we are in the era of 5G and beyond. So even 6G is also implementing in somewhere. So in order to increase the speed, and in order to increase the capacity, and in order to reduce the interference for all these characteristics, we are moving for the 5G. So while using the 5G, in fraction of second, we can download everything, and we can transmit a files even which has the largest size. So everything which is possible with the help of this 5G, and 5G which can be implemented with the help of millimeter waves. So because again this a millimeter wave spectrum where it has the high frequency. So that means up to this 300 gigahertz which can be used, and among this frequency band, and so this first portion, so where this portion, this leftmost portion, which is known as the centimeter, so that means where in the microwave frequency range, which can be measured in terms of centimeter. So this centimeter signals now which can be converted into millimeter waves, and this where we can have a more frequency bands. So in 5G itself, we can have this many frequency bands are available. So among that, any frequency band we can have, because most of the frequency bands are available in the unlicensed band. So we can use. So suppose we want to implement any of the devices for 5G, we can take the particular frequency band and we can implement. So many researches is also going on this millimeter wave. And so this is the frequency spectrum which shows frequency versus wavelength. And so what is MM wave technology? MM wave is a millimeter wave. And so the same thing we have to say, it is high frequency signals. Actually, microwave, which has the 3 band. So ultra high frequency, extremely high frequency, and super high frequency. Even this a millimeter wave which is greater than extremely high frequencies. So which has this frequency up to this 300, starting with the 30 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. So definitely it is high frequency signals, and it is used for this 5G networks. So and this millimeter waves which is used in this frequency, that means 5G technology which can be used. So mostly this is that will be known as the millimeter wave technology, which is used for this 5G network. And so why this is called as millimeter wave? So very simple explanation. A wave wavelength, actually any signal. So any signal, we can say this is a 1 kilohertz signals, or we can say this is a 10 kilohertz signals. So with respect to frequency only, we can say this is the audio signal, and this is the radio signal, and this is the video signal. So anything, it is defined with respect to frequency. So a frequency means again this whenever we are speaking with the frequency, we have to speak in terms of wavelength. So any signal, we have to define how much distance it may travel. That will be known as the wavelength. So wavelength, it is measured in terms of meter, or it may be measured in terms of centimeter, or it may be measured in terms of millimeter. Anything we can measure. So with the help of that wavelength only, I can say my signal which can be traveled to the shortest distance, or my signals which may be traveled to the longer distance. So that's why under UWB and so short range of communication signals is defined. So this frequency, very high frequency signals which can be measured in terms of millimeter. So the signal, the wavelength which has to be measured in terms of millimeter, which is known as the millimeter waves. And this is also an electromagnetic signals, or we can call this is the radio signals, which can be used to carry the signals from one place to another place. So because of this high frequency, and mostly this millimeter waves can be used for the satellite applications and radar applications. So in the places mainly it can be used. And so how we can make, so far just I have given explanation about what is microwave and what is milliwave and what is the difference between microwave and milliwave and why this is called as the milliwave, so like that, and how we can generate a milliwave signals. So milliwave signals which can be generated by using a photo detector, and according to the concept of the F equal to 4 into Fg. So that means with the help of that function generator, we can generate a signals, and that generated signal which has the 4 times which is greater. So that means the quantity, the magnitude, everything which will be a frequency also which is 4 times which is greater. So that's why I am saying that repeatedly. I am saying that microwave and millimeter wave. So even when comparing to the microwave, millimeter wave is even it is a high frequency signal. So that's why which has this 4 times greater than the function generator F. And also another possible one is with the which can be defined by using a photo detector, and the next one which can be generated with the help of the modulator. So modulator, we know that we have to mix the two kind of signals. One is low frequency signals and another one is high frequency signals, and we have to mix that signals. So low frequency and high frequency, that optical modulator. In the previously itself, I told that. So millimeter waves comes like terahertz signals. So that in optical, with the help of that optical modulator, so we can generate the frequency signals. So with the help of the 15 gigahertz signals, initially it's very hard to generate a high frequency signals because 100 gigahertz signals, or I have to generate 200 gigahertz signals, means directly it is not possible. So what we can do, and we can have a signals of 15 gigahertz, and it has to be multiplied by 4 means. So that means the 4 times the repeaters has to be used, and we can generate a high frequency signals. So with the help of that, we can generate the millimeter wave. And this another, the important question is millimeter waves are safe? No, it is not safe. So because millimeter waves are having a frequency higher than the microwave. So nowadays all the communications are made through the microwave, and microwave we are saying it is a high frequency signal. So that radiation, it affects the human organs, like that we are telling that. But I am telling that milliwaves are even higher than the microwave signals. So just we have to imagine that how the frequency are more, so that how amount of radiations will emit from the signals. So definitely this kind of signals which can penetrate up to 60 to 90% of the human skin. So definitely under every human skin which has this dielectric properties, which may be affected. So because of this radiation, so repeatedly we have used to work with this millimeter waves, means definitely that radiation will cause carcinogenic disease. So carcinogenic disease means like cancer. The main thing, radiation definitely creates this cancer. So among various kinds of cancer may be included. So this is that's why it is not safe. But when we have to we have to introduce any of the technology, means definitely there will be some disadvantage. So it may be some kind of disadvantages in this. And so next, advantages. So and so even it has this disadvantages of this carcinogenic disease, and we have some advantages. So advantages which has this larger bandwidth. So because of this larger bandwidth which has the high data transfer rate. So high data transfer rate means the transfer rate of this millimeter wave, data rate of millimeter wave is 20 gigabits per second. So 20 gigabits per second. Definitely it is a high data rate. And the next one, high resolution. So when this millimeter waves are having high resolution signals, and which has this low interference. So because of this low interference, definitely the quality of the signals which will be very good. And next one, small component size. So again, like microwave. So microwave which can be go for this miniaturization. So like that, this in millimeter waves also, so many miniaturization devices are possible. So whenever this miniaturization is there, means there will be a compact devices which will be available, and portable devices are there. So, and this is another advantage, and which has this increased security. So security again, so electromagnetic waves, and this is another topic. That is what about this security while transmitting a signal, and so not much losses of the signals are not there. So security which will be there. And next one is cost effective. This millimeter waves are the cost effective. So then we can move on to the disadvantages. So disadvantages means again it is costlier. So in order, if I want to make a device to work for this millimeter waves, means definitely the cost of the signals which will be more. So the main disadvantage of millimeter wave means in order to make the components, it will be very costly. And the next one, it has this lower sensitivity. So sensitivity which is low means the ability to reproduce the signals which will be lesser. So that is the another disadvantages. And whenever again another thumb rule is that, so whenever the frequency is increased and there is increase of attenuation. So whenever the attenuation is there, so definitely some loss of signal is there. Because of this loss of signal, I told that so it has the lower sensitivity, and this can be overcome whenever. So you may ask that. So if that is, if so many attenuations are there, means we can't use that signal. So we can use the signal by using repeaters. So more number of repeaters and amplifiers with the help of that, and we can use this millimeter waves. And this next one, applications. So where this millimeter waves are used means this can be used in satellite and radar systems and medicine. So in order to cure this pain, acute pain is there, like laser therapy, and so laser treatment, which is mainly used in this iris problems, and so dental problems, or in cancer treatment. So many things this can be used. So like that, the millimeter waves is also mostly used in this medicine to cure this pain. It can be used as this pain reliever, and it can be used in this astronomy and meteorology, and in communications and automotive radars, healthcare, and human body scanners. So I will explain that the human body scanner in the next slides, and telecommunication, and this wireless data communications, and in virtual reality. So nowadays this another the hot trends which is going in media is so virtual reality. So in virtual realities also this millimeter waves is used, and it is used in the military, defense, and industry, satellite communication, and this non-destructive evaluation applications. So these are the applications. And so another thing, the one point here I have to quote it, and this millimeter wave which cannot be used for the mobile communication. So because here I have told this many applications, here this a mobile communication which is not included. So why means, so mobile communication, and so we have to use more number of nodes can be used that. So in that places actually microwave signals which can travel for more distance when comparing to the millimeter wave. So that's why this for GSM and for all applications, this microwave signals which can be used. For millimeter waves, the distance traveled by the wave is low. So I have to use for this a longer distance, means I need to use more number of nodes and more number of repeaters has to be used. So in mobile communication, if more number of nodes can be used, means again there will be a difficulty to reproduce the signal. So that's why this millimeter waves cannot be used for the mobile communication. And so I can go by so MM waves applications in detail. So yeah, millimeter wave communication, this is one of the mostly used technology in 5G. So in 5G signals, millimeter waves has to be used with a frequency range of 24 gigahertz to 86 gigahertz. And so more companies are testing the devices to work with this millimeter wave communication. So in future, so mostly all the 5G communications are made by the millimeter waves only. So instead of this microwave, which can be used to carry the millimeter waves. And also the millimeter wave, it can replace the optical signals, as I previously told that. So optical signals. So nowadays all the telecommunications lines are are made by the optical connections only. So we have to bury the ground and we have to make, and the costs of this fiber optic cables are very, very costly. So to avoid that, even millimeter waves are costly, but when comparing to fiber optics, it can be cost effective. So it can be, this optical fiber cables can be replaced by millimeter wave, because millimeter waves is also an electromagnetic wave. So with the help of the new technology, we can implement this. And next one, which can be used for high definition, so HD video applications. So because nowadays all the home appliances and so all the and all our houses are having a smart TV with high definition. So this HD TV. So in HD TV and with help of set-top box, and which can be for high definition signals. So we can convert the video sources. So in that places, wirelessly, which can be used. So which can avoid the wired communication. So this millimeter wave communication, which can be used. And the next one, which can be used according to the standard IEEE 802.11 AD Wi-Fi. So with this technology, Wi-Fi, so which is used to transfer the data with higher speed. So again, in order to increase the speed, in order to increase the data rate, and more number of devices which can be connected. That means the sharing of the signals for more number of devices, and it will be easy. So again, already we are sharing a signals for more than one devices, but still by using a millimeter waves, and more number of devices can be used, because so in the previous one, mobile communication. So now mobile communication, not only mobile communication, so many devices we are having in our house. So in previous the 20 years back or 10 years back, only one devices are there to communicate or to speak with another one. So and after that, every individual in the house are having a device, and nowadays every individuals are having a 2 to 3 connections. So with the help of this another network providers, so that the coverage of this the connections are more. So 4 or 5 people are together means, so everyone we have to connect with Wi-Fi. So obviously we have to increase the number of connectivity, and this can be possible with the help of that milliwaves. So and another thing, and it can be used for satellite communications. So and the satellite communications again, which plays an important role. So nowadays all the telephone communications or all the TV channels, everything which has to be connected with the satellite. So satellite, again, satellite communication is another area. And all the satellite communication, so no other way. Satellite communication means the signal which has to be traveled in the electromagnetic waves. So instead of this microwaves, and we can use this a millimeter wave, because millimeter wave is also an electromagnetic waves, and which has to be traveled for the longer distance with higher speed. So and because of this latency, so the delay which has to be reduced according to increase the data rate. And the next one, it can be used in automotive applications. So in automotive applications, like we can fix it in a car, we can make a device and we can fix it in a car. And so that that in order to avoid the accidents, or in order to avoid the traffic, so everything we can be used. So that's why this can be used for this automotive applications within a fraction of seconds. So everything which has to be any obstacles, or so any other disturbance, or any other problem is there while traveling, that can be accurately, it can be detected. And so because of this low latency, and easily it can be reached to the vehicle, so that it can avoid the accidents like that. So the automatic applications which can be used. And next, it can be used for body scanners. So body scanners, millimeter waves. So as I told that in the previous one, So this millimeter waves which is used for this body scanner. Mainly this body scanners are used in airports. So in airports, in order to scan our devices, our things and our human body, and because security is most important one, so in order to have this high security, we have to scan everything. So in order to have this accurate scanning, this body scanners are used. And another thing, so this body scanners, we have to keep it in our body and we have to scan everything. So is there any devices like that any of this unwanted things are there, means we have to detect it. So and another thing, and it's a body scanner which has provides this a low transmit power. That means so 1 milliwatt power is used. So but the operating frequency range of 70 gigahertz to 80 gigahertz, but this power generated by the signals is very less. So the effect of this human organs, it will be reduced because of that. So because earlier I told that repeatedly, if we used to use this millimeter wave, mean definitely the radiation, it affects the human organs. So that's why this even which is working with the high frequency, and because of this smaller transmit power, and there is a low effect in this human body, this body scanner. And next one, so which has to be used for radar applications. So radar applications means again, so to detect these devices we have to use, and to avoid this automatic, to avoid the collisions and to avoid the intrusion alarms. So or to speed detection vehicles, to detect the speed of the vehicle. So radar can be used. So in which speed they are going, or in which distance it is there. So everything which has to be measured with help of the radar applications. And next one, virtual reality. So I told in the previous one. So virtual reality again. So there is a very useful one. So virtual reality and augmented reality. So augmented reality and virtual reality, the accuracy will be more. So that is we can display anything. So without the devices, there will be imaginary one. So imaginary one in educations, in medicines, the visual reality, it plays a very, very important role. So in order to make this virtual reality devices, so definitely there is a role of millimeter waves. So it can be supported, because so within that if we have to use this virtual reality devices, means definitely it should have this high data rate, and which has the speed and capacity, everything it should be larger. So then only the compatibility which will be more. So definitely this millimeter wave, which has the characteristics and which can used. And next one, which can be used for medical applications. So millimeter wave therapy. So millimeter wave like laser therapy, the millimeter wave therapy is there. So the millimeter wave therapy, which is used to reduce this pain. So which is used as used in this treating to reduce the painkiller, like that it can be used. So acute pain has to be reduced by going for this millimeter wave therapy. And again, millimeter wave is a high frequency, and this is also used in the frequency range of 40 gigahertz to 70 gigahertz signals. So which is used in this medical application. So like that, many applications are there. So we can list out more applications. So I have stopped the applications of millimeter wave. And next I can move on to this another one, the benefit. Why we have to use. So I am telling that. So this is millimeter wave, which has this advantages, which can be used for this application. And this is the characteristics and why this is called as millimeter wave. And why I have to use. Why? What is the benefit of using millimeter wave technology means? So millimeter wave is essential of 5G future, because nowadays we are in the era of 5G and beyond. So which definitely this millimeter wave is essential for the 5G features. So in 5G futures, that means all the waves which has to be used for 5G communication. And so 5G communications means what is a 5G technology means? So 5G is a wireless technology which is used to deliver the data in higher data rate. I told that 5G, which is implemented with millimeter waves, means which has the high frequency data rate of 20 gigahertz per second. So we have to imagine that how fast the data has to be transmitted. So, and also because of this fastest data rate, and it reduces the low latency, delay is also reduced. So because every day we are downloading the files, and so all the files within a fraction of a second, we are downloading more files, we are referring any data, anything we have to do. So with the help of that internet, everything is possible. And so like that compatibility of the devices also should be improved. And this can be improved by using 5G with millimeter waves. And the availability of the devices and this high performance, and which can be connected to this many number of users, like that this can be used. And this is the spectrum of this 5G communication. So the spectrum of the 5G communication, where it shows starting with 700 megahertz, and so slowly it goes for this gigahertz signals, and after that, so this range, where this 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and 6G. So now we are in the era of 5G and beyond. So that means 5G and beyond. Nearly this 6G technology is also in some of the cases is used, and the frequency range for all the technologies. The first one, 2G. So 2.4 gigahertz, and we have used normal WLAN frequency band. So and after that 3G were there, and now we are in the era of 4G. So and 5G. So 5G, where which has this frequency range of 3.4 to 3.8 gigahertz. The 5G range 3.4 to 3.8 gigahertz. So this is the low frequency band of 5G, and like that the frequency still it is increasing. For 6G, the frequency range which will be 95 gigahertz to and 3 terahertz. So this is the frequency range of this 6G communication. So for this, because we are our millimeter wave is which also having the frequency range of more than 30 gigahertz. So for 5G beyond and 6G signals, all the signals which comes under the millimeter wave communication. So this is the frequency spectrum and millimeter waves in 5G. So as I told that this millimeter waves in this 5G, which has to be used for a short range of signals. So because millimeter wave, the distance traveled by the wave is low, so it has to be used for short range of communications. And this can be used for the next wave. So 5G, and which has to be used for this next generation of signals. So it can be used as the next wave signal. And this MM wave, which has this large bandwidth, more bandwidth, which will be there. So because of this highest bandwidth, the coverage of the area and this coverage of the users are more higher. And also the speed. Again, another parameter is the speed. So obviously, if any devices nowadays which is implemented with the first thing, the speed of this signal transmission, it should be more, and we have to cover the more users. It's a main mantra. So more users and more speed. So it will be covered by the millimeter waves. And another thing, not only in this 5G, and next one. So here. So now who are all using this millimeter waves means AT&T's millimeter wave, so which is named as 5G plus. So they are using this millimeter waves with 5G technologies. And another user, Verizon. So Verizon, they are using 5G ultra wideband UWB. So 5G ultra wideband using this millimeter wave technology. And another user, they are using T-Mobiles. So with ultra capacity of 5G. So and now they are using the millimeter wave networks. So these people, they are using this millimeter waves. And the next one, the 5G. So 5G with NR. Previously, and I have told about only 5G. So just it covers some more area and some more users, and which has the low latency, like that I told. So now this is 5G and NR. So NR means it is a new radio. So 5G NR is a new radio, and it is a new wireless technology which is used in this 5th generation. So where in the previous one I told that millimeter wave, which is not used for the mobile communication, but while combining with 5G, and there is a possibility which can be used with the cellular networks. So cellular networks, so in some cases which may be used with the new name of new radio. So that will be known as the 5G new radio. NR, it stands for the new radio interface or 5G new radio devices, which has to be developed for the 5G mobile communications. So, and this a new radio, because of this a new radio, and which has covered this more number of users. So main thing, more number of users, and again the more number of data rates which will be there. So the connectivity is also, it is a growing technology. And challenges. So what are the challenges of millimeter waves means? So the millimeter waves, because of this high frequency signal, the main point, attenuation is high. So whenever the attenuation is high, there is a loss of signals, and due to this loss of signals, while propagating the signals, there is a loss. So the signal loss, path loss, which will be there. So obviously this a path loss which has the diversity problems. Another main thing is the diversity. So because nowadays this cognitive radio and all other devices which has to be used with the MIMO and everything. So we have to go for the smart antenna and everything. So smart antenna and this MIMO technology and the cognitive radio. So everything which has to be used. So while using for this, and another challenge is the diversity. So more number of diversity is there. So diversity reception which will be there. So because of this diversity, there is a fading of signals. So whenever there is a fading, attenuation is there means automatically there will be a fading of signal is there. So when fading is there, there is a diversity, and we have to overcome the diversity problems again. So many researches are going on to avoid this diversity. So and in diversity itself, there so many types are there. So like that, which can be used. And another thing where which has to be used for millimeter waves are traveling for the short distance. So because of the short distance communication, which can be traveled in line of sight. So because of this line of sight communication, and the signals, it can be blocked by very high malls and buildings. So like that, so the signals will hit, and again it will be reflected or it will be absorbed by the obstacles. So like that, because of all these conditions I told, so fading of signals which will be more, and due to that there is a diversity and scattering of a signal is there. So this is the main challenges while implementing the millimeter wave communication. So in future development, so this all this drawbacks, it could be overcome. So by using future high speed communication networks. So again, even which has this challenges, I told that. So obviously, while technology is increased means the speed and everything has to be increased. So that's why this MM technology which has to be implemented, and slowly the drawbacks can be overcome and which can be used. So these are the future development, high quality videos. So nowadays also we are having a good quality videos, but still it has to be, because we are in 3D. So most of the cases in virtual reality, or if we are going for augmented reality means, definitely this solution of this image or this quality of the image, it will speak. So then only we can have this high technology, higher end of devices which be there. So and these are the future developments. And so there is one link how this is just working. I can open it. So I can take a few minutes time. I can play this video. So in meanwhile, so I think I have explained about this millimeter waves. That means significance of this millimeter wave. I think it can be understand or it can be useful for doing the researches like that.
Madam, make your screen full.
Sir?
Make your screen full.
Okay, sir. Few seconds, sir.
Ma'am, F8 ಅಳ್ತೇನೆ ma'am, full screen on.
A few seconds, sir. I have to open that video. So I think this will be interesting one. I hope that so there is a new technology which is going to overrule us. With this, I would like to wind up my presentation.
Thank you,
Sir?
Dr. Professor Kalpanadevi, madam. Happy Women's Day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your wonderful lecture. I would like to invite our audiences. If there are any queries, you can ask our speaker.
Madam, I have one question. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
You said it can be used for satellite communication.
Yes,
How
sir.
do you compare this with our C band, KU band, and what will be the improvement with your millimeter wave for satellite communication?
Yes, sir. Sure. Definitely satellite communication, which is mainly used for C band, that is 4 to 8 gigahertz, and Q band, so in terms of 20 to 28 gigahertz. So still the extended version of this Q band, because millimeter waves, which has the frequency band more than this 30 gigahertz. So not it is a much difference between Q band and the satellite frequencies. So it may be implemented with the another frequency bands. That 5G in band, it has to be implemented, sir.
But you mentioned somewhere that it is a short range purposes, right? If it is a
Yes.
short range, and why you mentioned that 5 millimeter wave is used for short range?
Because the wavelength is measured only in terms of mm, sir. Microwave signals are measured in terms of centimeter, but millimeter waves, which has to be measured in terms of millimeter, like Q band is also high frequency band. In microwave, it is high frequency band. So in microwave itself, extended frequency is known as the EHF, and that EHF is known as the millimeter waves. So there is a possibility to work. If Q band is possible, means definitely this waves is also possible to work for the satellite communications, sir.
Okay, short range has got this kind of meaning. Okay,
Yeah, sir.
thank you.
Wavelength. With respect to wavelength, it is known as the short range, because when the frequency is increased, automatically the wavelength is reduced. So the wavelength is measured in terms of mm. So that's why this is known as the millimeter wave, and also this is known as the short wave, sir.
Okay, I took it as with the literal meaning of short range. Okay, okay, thank you.
It's not okay. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, madam. This is Praveen Kumar.
Good evening, sir.
What is the relation between frequency and security, madam? What is the relation? So, if
Frequency
and security, what is the relationship? Is there a direct,
actually
direct
it is not
relationship? Is there?
yeah.
Is there any direct relationship? If you go with higher frequency bands, do you have realized that their security has increased?
No, sir, it is not. There is not a direct relation between frequency and the security. So any signal, it has to be traveled in a free space. That definitely there is a challenges in the security, sir. So that security which has to be avoided by using security devices. So that it is another researches which is going on, this network security and this cryptography and network security, which provides for this secure communication.
Do you feel that this millimeter wave can challenge this security concern?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any other queries from participant sides? I think there are no further queries. Thank you, madam, for your wonderful lecture.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your patience. Thank you all. So very patiently, you are hearing my lecture. So once again, I thank you all. I thank Selvaraj sir. I thank the chairman of CSI and secretary of CHI Trichy chapter, and also I would like to thank IE Center, the chairman and the secretary sir. And also, I would like to thank my principal, sir, Dr. S. Ravimaran, sir, for giving this opportunity. And also, I would like to thank my management. And I would like to thank all my well-wishers. So, thank you all. I think I have covered some portions, and a little bit I have gone through it. And so, definitely in future, so still I can go with the further the real-time applications. Definitely, I will assure it.
Yeah, we are eagerly awaiting for the real-time applications, because many of the practical engineers will be liking that. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, sir. Definitely, sir. In
So
future,
thank you, ma'am. With this, we'll move on to the next agenda. next week lecture program. It is on March 15th. The speaker is our former Additional General Manager of BHL Trichy, Engineer S. Singaravelu. Now he is a consultant in Cobalco Welding India Private Limited. The topic is pro-moly steel developments for boiler applications. I invite everyone to attend this program, and you can also invite all your friends, colleagues. And this is a free program; anyone can participate. And you please invite everyone. Thank you, and I would like to thank all the participants from various parts of India and for gracing this function, and this program especially is a combined program. It was conducted in association with Computer Society of India. I thank the members of Computer Society of India for participating in this lecture program. I thank everyone, and so many people from other states have participated. I thank everyone. We also invite you for the further lectures. Thank you very much. Now I call upon Dr. Titus, our committee member, to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I take this opportunity to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of IEI Trichy chapter as well as the Computer Society of India. As our Honorable Secretary has told us, this program was jointly organized by the IEI Trichy local center as well as the Computer Society of India. So on behalf of this, I would like to thank the today's speaker, Dr. Kalpanadevi Madam, who has beautifully and nicely delivered the lecture on the significance of MM, that is millimeter wave. So nowadays, this is an emerging topic, especially regarding the communications as well as the measurements of the various parameters. So these electronic devices, with respect to the wave propagation, that is in millimeter or frequency, all these things are mostly involved in nowadays in electronics communication networks as well as in computers and networks, and also for all other communication purposes, and also for transmitting the signals. Nowadays, the communication is very, very flourishing, and it is a very emerging area. So many researchers are going on this significant areas and topics. So I hope this topic was very useful and emerging topic for nowadays for the people, those who are doing research in this communication and networks. I would like to thank at this moment on behalf of IIA Trichy Center. Thank you, madam, for your valuable presentation on this significance of millimeter wave. You have briefly elaborated what are the different significance in this millimeter wave when compared with microwave. And also you have rightly presented the applications of the various devices where it is used in satellite communication and medical applications and automotive applications. So where and all it is used, you are rightly and you are briefly elaborated, and also you have described about the advantages and disadvantages of the millimeter wave also. Really, it is a very interesting and very nice topic of today's scenario. I once again thank you, madam, for your valuable presentation and nice presentation. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
And at this juncture, I would like to thank our Honorable Chairman of IEI Trichy Local Center for arranging such emerging programs, emerging seminars in the emerging field. Really, I would like to thank our chairman also at this juncture. And also, I take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Secretary, Dr. Kevin R. Kumar sir, for giving me this opportunity to deliver the vote of thanks and also to organize this today's event very nicely and beautifully, especially on this special day of Women's Day. They have rightly selected the women lecturer today. Really, it's a very wonderful event of this today's evening. So once again, I thank our Honorable Secretary sir also. And once again, I would like to thank all the past chairmen who are all connected in today's forum, and all the senior peoples of this IEA chapter. I really thank all the members for taking part of this today's seminar. And also, I would like to thank all the committee members of the IEA Trichy Local Center for supporting us to conduct this event very nicely and successfully in this evening. So once again, I would like to thank all the participants and all the committee members and all the dignitaries and all the senior members and also the today's guest speaker on behalf of the IEA Trichy Local Center and also jointly with the Computer Society of India. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Titus, sir. Thanks for
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
proposing the vote of thanks. I also thank Dr. S. Ravimaran, Principal, MAM College of Engineering, for introducing the speaker. Thanks for joining this lecture program. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, Titus, sir, we will close. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, sir. Shall we close, sir?
Yeah, we will close it. Thank you very much. Thanks for participating.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.